there lovely friends, it's Lisa. Today I am designing for Papermaze, papermaze.co.uk. They've sent me some very nice things from Simple Stories. I will include all the links below so you can have a look yourself and go shopping because they are beautiful. And I'm splitting this video up. Obviously you're going to see it all in one go, but it's one of these layouts that's going to take me quite a bit of time, so I shall need to film it in stages. I'm going to start with the wet stuff first. I've got three photos here. These are taken of the Statue of Liberty from our New York trip last year, and it's the gold in the background that made me think of this paper here. It just goes really well. So I've got some bits here, and I am going to work with this stencil, and there's also going to be some sewing as well. So that's what I'm up to and why it's going to take me a little while. So let's start off with the wet things. And I am, oops, that's rolling away. I've got this Tim Holtz sunshine mist here. I am a big fan of sunshine mists. I do plan to cut this out, so I am going to mist it first. It's a bit darker than I expected, but that's fine. Doesn't seem quite the same colour, does it? But then I'm going to add some white acrylic paint and press it through. I'm going to have to be careful that I keep that stencil still. I've just got regular white acrylic paint when it wants to come out. I think I need to clean the inside of my paint. Oh, there it is. And I'm using some paper kitchen towel, and I'm going to hold the stencil through and just press it down. I want that pattern as I lift off the stencil, and that's what's given me the effect there. And I love how it's mixing in with the mist that I've just sprayed, and I'm going to have these lovely rays of sunshine. Let's have a look. Carefully lift that off. Ta-da! And they are going to be my rays of sunshine. So I am going to pop that to one side, and the next thing I am going to do, I've got this left over from a previous project. I'm going to trim this down, and I'm going to spread some of this mint colour, Kaiser colour here, this spearmint, across the background. I'm using an old credit card. I love these for spreading paint, and it's just so handy sometimes. Sometimes you don't always have an hour or two to spend scrapbooking or journaling or whatever it is you like doing. So I do try and split up my time sometimes. So like now, it's a really sunny Sunday afternoon. I want to go and walk the dog. So this layout I'm going to be doing over the rest of the day. I've done this bit now. I'm going to go and walk the dog, come back, have dinner with the family, and then this evening I'm going to spend some time, maybe actually just before dinner, piecing the layout together, and then tonight, whilst I'm maybe watching TV with the family, that's when I'm going to do my sewing. So I've got my bits and pieces now, and I'm going to leave these to dry. See you later. Right, I'm ready for the next part now. I have gone ahead and trimmed down some white 12x12 cardstock and popped that on the back of the Simple Stories patterned paper, so that's acting as my frame. And then I've taken this beautiful paper here with all the words. I've trimmed off some of that, that's my leftovers, and I've also trimmed that down so it fits neatly across. And my painted piece, I needed to trim that down as well, and that's going to get stuck on there. It's all very minty green at the moment, so I need to break that up with some of the yellow. I never ever add my adhesive to the very ends, as I quite often like to add bits and pieces. That's that. I am going to fold that down slightly because I'm going to add the yellow card. That, I love it when you do that and you see the coloured paper underneath coming through. I think that looks really nice. Got my sun rays here. I'm going to just trim some of the extra yellow just to pop in at the back. Right, I've got my strip here. You can see when you've got the yellow next to all the mint green that you do really need something to break it up. So I'm going to slide that under there. Obviously this is the whole length of the scrapbook page, which I don't want. I want to keep it to that smaller size that I've trimmed off. So I'm just going to place this underneath, and then I can just trim the excess off there like so. So there's my yellow, and I'm going to do the same at the top as well. And then my sun rays are now dry, so I'm going to place them, get them cut up and stuck in place. So there's a little bit of yellow. So here are my sun rays, and they're nice and dry. I'm just going to cut this out. I want it stuck in one, not in two pieces. Here are my photos, and I'm just going to trim these in between to make my sun rays more visible. So I'm at this stage now. My sun rays have been cut out. I haven't stuck them in place. I've just literally popped them behind. I've left them attached like that so that I can easily place them where I want them to go, and then I can trim them down as well. I've decided to continue with the rest of the layout first. I've taken this piece here and I'm going to use the yellow. I was going to cut it, but I think I might tear it instead. The other thing I wanted to talk about was this particular range here, Faith. I just wanted to say, obviously it's a collection with the theme of faith, funnily enough, prayer, Jesus, all that kind of thing. I just wanted to say that if that isn't your thing, and obviously it's not everybody's thing, don't be put off. I am finding this collection really, really easy to work with, and I've made a couple of layouts now, and they're not actually anything to do with that theme, and it hasn't put me off using it. I found it really easy. I wanted to say that the collection is beautiful. If it's not your thing, please don't be put off, because it is very easy to use and versatile. You just sometimes need to go at things with an open mind. There we go. I just needed some yellow behind the photographs. So I've got my photos like that. I was going to pop this in the middle. I'm going to cover up. I don't need the whole of this photograph here. And I don't want the red of that person's jacket there, so that can be cut. Then we can put that, I don't know, I'll do something with them. Or actually, how about, I wonder if that would be better actually. Yes, I'm happy with that. I've trimmed down one of the 12 by 12 sheets with all the journal cards on, and I've taken this one here. I'm going to use the word here, blessed, as part of my title for this page. And I'm just using a corner punch, although I will be covering up most of it. I do feel very blessed. We are very lucky with the life we lead. My husband and myself do work incredibly hard, so we obviously these holidays don't just happen, they're worked for, but at the same time I do feel very blessed and very fortunate. Just going to pop these in place. Let's use some 3D sticky pads just to give the page a little bit of height. I'm just sticking literally a couple on the back. Kids were really excited to go into the Empire State Building, I think more because of the movie Elf when he goes in there. Okay, so that's my 3 photos in place. Just going to, I should have done this before, I always do this. I like to doodle on my photographs, but I always forget to do it before sticking down. I'm now going to find some other bits and pieces just to embellish. I'm now going onto the 12 by 12 sticker sheet that I have here that matches, and I'm going to take off a few of these stickers, whoops, and I'm actually going to, I think the yellow there is a really good place to put it because it really helps the sticker to stand out. I'm going to pop the sticker on the side there. I am going to add some 3D tape to the back. Actually, let's add 2 pieces of that to give it a bit of extra height. And I'm going to use that on the side. I think I'm going to concentrate mainly on this side for my embellishments. Sort of like form a bit of a cluster there. I've cut my journaling into really small strips, just on regular white card, and stuck those in place. I want to tidy up my sunbeams now. I've got just a tea plate here, and I'm going to just mark them off like that, and then I can trim them down. I was going to sew on the sunbeams, but I'm actually really pleased with how they look. So I'm going to stick them in place now. I'm just going to put some sticky on the center of the sun there and keep that like that. I like them loose, so I've decided to keep it that way, but I do want to add some stitching still underneath. Got my ruler and my pencil, and I am going to draw a line across with an arrow like that, and I'm going to use a paper piercer and pierce the holes through. I'm piercing through quite a few layers here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the paper piercer makes this so much easier. I used to use a needle before and it was really painful. It would often, as I was pushing it through, it would actually pierce through my skin and I would end up with very sore fingers. So for the sake of a couple of pounds, I highly recommend one of these. And I'm now going to get my needle and thread and start sewing on paper. I'm going to add a couple of other stitches as well. I like adding a little bit of contrast and the thread really does this well. So let's add stitches here with a cross stitch. All you need to do are 4 in a row. Let's add one there and another one down here. And I'll see how that looks. I might add some more afterwards. I've got a really thick embroidery needle here. Just makes it much easier. I'm going to start one end, poking it through just as you normally would when you sew. And I like to secure the other end with a piece of tape. It's nice and easy, holds it in place, and it looks tidy as well. And then you just sew on the paper as if it was fabric. It's all coming together really nicely now. I don't know if you can see the texture there from the paint that came through the stencil. Looks much neater trimmed off. I've got my journaling, I've got my stitches there and the sewing going across. I'm just going to finish it off now. I'm using some Dilutions Pure Sunshine ink spray and I'm just going to drip this on the top there. And I'm just going to add a little bit of the Distress Stain, the mustard seed, and from my own stash I've got the sunflower yellow here. This is an older mist from Mayor Road and it's a lovely bright one. Splash some of that along the bottom there. And that's my page. Oh, that was a big one, wasn't it? Oh, I've forgotten something. I've forgotten the last part of my title. I'd printed off some wording to go next to the blessed. We are so blessed. And that's my page. It's finished now and ready to be left to dry. I hope you've enjoyed watching me make this. Thank you very much. And I shall see you very soon with another video. Please like if you've enjoyed this and please don't forget to subscribe. Thank you. Bye.